Hello everyone and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and today we're going to look at my top 10 commons from Modern Masters 2017 for Cube. This set has been absolutely incredible for Cube builders at all rarities with some amazing reprints. The best part for players of Pauper cubes is the number of cards that have been downshifted in rarity to common. This opens up a lot of very interesting and potentially powerful cards that could affect players' cubes. This, along with some great common value cube staples, really makes it a great set to look at and pick up some cards from. I'm sure there'll be many discussions from yourselves to the choices that I've made in this video, so do let me know in the comments section below what you're excited about for your own cubes. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, don't forget to share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. So let's get stuck in. At the number 10 slot we have Penumbra Spider. This is a pretty solid defensive 2/4 with reach for a 4 casting cost. This on paper isn't spectacular, but when you put it into the graveyard it replaces itself with another 2/4 black spider token with reach. This is a really nice defensive creature, and if you are playing a sacrifice or populate mechanic within your cube, getting this into your graveyard adds so much extra value for yourself. At number 9 we have the first of our downshift in rarity cards with Spike Jester. This is certainly a nice aggressive 3/1 with haste creature for just a red and the black. This for me is certainly an upgrade to the Rakdos Shred Freak in terms of power level, plus it works nicely if there is a potential goblin tribal theme within your cube as well. The only downside for players with this card is that the Rakdos Shred Freak does offer a little more versatility for the reduced stats, as it can bait with either 2 red or 2 black rather than 1 of each. If this is of little concern to you, then Spike Jester is really worth the upgrade. At number 8 we have another downshifted card in Augur of Bolas. He's a really great early drop against aggro, being a 1/3 body for 2 casting cost. His enter the battlefield ability can be a little hit or miss. If you're drafting a deck with an above average amount of instants or sorceries, then he will end up finding something useful for you, even on turn 2. Although I'd rather be hunting for a 3-drop, mana ruck or land on turn 2 personally. The downside of this is that some of the time he will completely miss, which isn't the end of the world, but you're not getting his true potential. He's trying to be a Seagate Oracle, but unfortunately the 1 less cost removes the consistent card draw. In blue you are able to tutor cards or affect the top of your library to make sure you end up finding a card each time, and he's a nice target for flicker effects to abuse his enter the battlefield trigger. He's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but at common level now he's certainly worth considering. At number 7, you guessed it, another downshifted card in Thunderous Wrath. I'm personally not the biggest fan of miracle cards in Cube, but at common level this can pack a punch. Personally, I wouldn't ever want to see it in my starting hand, as 6 casting cost for 5 damage to a creature or player isn't too bad, but certainly wouldn't be worth a spot in my cube if it was that alone. I'd be tempted to mulligan my hand to go down to 6 if this came up in my starting hand, which would put me at a potential disadvantage at the start of the game. That being said, 5 damage to a creature, or more likely in an aggro burn style deck, to the player for 1 is exceptional value. At number 6 we have yet another downshifted card with Tandem Lookout. I like this card as it gives its effect to more than one creature, which is fantastic, especially if the other creature has evasion, like Looter or Core for example, which would produce even more value. The potential to drawing up to 2 cards a turn if your opponent has nothing in defense, or you can give him evasion, is really nice, plus you can set up some very useful plays with Brainstorm too. The 1 toughness can be an issue, but with blue, if you're letting the soulbound creature do the work and leaving him back, with some counter spells in your hand to protect him, he should prove himself to be a worthy cube slot. At number 5, the common theme here is another downshifted card in Falconwrath Noble. I'm a huge fan of aristocrats or sacrifice style decks, but this guy improves upon that. Any creature that dies, including theirs, drains your opponent is a really nice addition to a 2/2 flyer for 4 casting cost. This gives him a little bit more versatility to play a removal heavy deck and get plenty of value out of it, while swinging in the air for even more damage. At common level, this is great value and certainly worth looking at if you have that theme within your cube. 2 toughness is the only weak part of this card and potentially prone to removal, but more often than not you should be able to get some value out of him before he's dealt with. At number 4 we have Mistraven. This card for me is a 1 casting cost, more expensive mana war with flying added on. It's a really nice tempo card for blue, which is a perfect target for Enter the Battlefield abusing. The 2/2 flying body can apply some mid-game pressure on top, and in a limited format I certainly wouldn't be unhappy seeing this in my pack when drafting. A really solid card and a decent target for wearing equipment as well. The 2 toughness can again be an issue with removal, but I'm sure you'll have a counterspell or 2 up your sleeve just in case. Getting to the top end now, and at number 3 we have a solid piece of utility removal in Magma Jet. While Lightning Bolt is the best damage per mana spell available to us, Magma Jet will still hit a large amount of threats and allowing a player to set up future draws, filtering away dead cards and helping to increase the card quality over time. Whether this is to stop you getting flooded with mana or dig through to make sure you aren't starved in the game. It suffers a little bit from being Shock and Preordain stuck together without the card draw. Where I'd rather play both colours to get the card draw itself, it certainly can prove to be useful at many periods of the game. But if you look at it as Searing Spear, trading 1 damage for Scry 2 is a fair trade in my eyes. At number 2 we have Gideon's Lawkeeper, which is a really solid 1-drop for white. Being able to tie down your opponent's best creature for 1 mana is amazing, and you won't mind your opponent wasting their removal on this either. This is a really versatile card that can fit into control, mid-range and potentially aggro decks as well, plus if it's left unchecked it can be a real nuisance over the course of the game. And at number 1 we have another downshifted card here, which sees plays in some unpowered cubes, so unsurprisingly Burning Tree Emissary, now at the common level, definitely jumps into most Pauper cubes. A 2/2 for 2 giving you a red and green mana when it enters the battlefield for another potential 2-drop for free is phenomenal value. There may be times where you can't utilise the extra mana, which makes it a vanilla 2/2 for 2, but even if you do manage to get an extra 1-drop out, or this and a 3-drop on turn 3, if you don't have another 2-drop in hand, will prove amazing value. It's certainly better in a constructed deck where you can give it a higher percentage chance of having the extra 2-drop, but I still feel this is a solid choice for Cube. So there we have my top 10 commons from Modern Masters 2017 for Cube. There are so many more great cards that have been printed at common, either downshifted or not, and is certainly perfect for anybody building a Pauper cube. Some of the cards will certainly make it to Peasant cubes or even higher as well. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Are there cards that I've missed? Do you have a different order? Let me know in the comments section below. Which commons will you be adding to your cube from the set? Pauper players, are you over the moon with these rarity changes? I can't wait to see all of your reactions. The next video I release will be the top 10 uncommon cards from Modern Masters 2017 with all the amazing cards that got a reprint and downshifted from rare. I'm excited to see what you all think of those as well. The top 10 rare and mythics video will be on Tuesday, with Cube for 2 being pushed back to Wednesday, which I'm sure you won't mind. If you enjoy the video, do hit the thumbs up button, share this with your friends and bring them into the discussion. Hit that subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Friday if you haven't already, as it's really helping this channel to grow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.